Hello everyone, welcome to Plot Holes! Yes, these are the plot holes that I found in episode 5. And I wanted to go over them to see if anyone could possibly close these for me and maybe get some theory crafting because when a show or a game leaves plot holes like this, the fans do a really good job of closing them up. So let's get to work. First of all, the bunker. The bunker's name was Stormbreaker. It was stocked and ready for a tornado. And somehow Nathan convinced his father to pay for all of it. This seems more like the creators wanted to go somewhere with it, but changed their mind. Because it's a loose end. But the plot hole is here. At the beginning of the game, Nathan's talking to Chloe. And the way he talks sounds like he doesn't control the family money. His family does, more notably his father. So how did he convince his father to pay for this huge $1 million storm bunker and fill it with expensive equipment without his father coming to look and see what was going on in there, or coming to see what it looked like, or what was in it, or anything like that? He just signed off on it and paid for it. Apparently, Jefferson had access to all the family riches just because Nathan said he could. The way they wrap this up contradicts the entire premise of Sean Prescott and Nathan Prescott's relationship with the school and the Vortex Club. It seemed the entire time we talked to people and they're saying things like, oh, well, you need to talk to Nathan's father. Nathan's father controls everything. Nathan's father does everything. Nathan's father this, Nathan's father that. I mean, when you mention to Logan about business with Nathan, he's like, talk to his father, don't talk to Nathan. So why would Nathan have so much control suddenly to give it all to Jefferson if throughout the rest of the game his father controlled everything, not Nathan himself? Also, there's a letter for Sean Prescott in the bunker. So he must have been there, right? I don't think Nathan or Jefferson would have been able to acquire this letter. That's a huge plot hole, a huge loose end. It seems like the creators wanted to do something different, but ended up having to scrap that idea for some reason, which is a shame. So number 2, when Jefferson talks about his muses and his subjects, he says that he's looking for students with hope in their eyes, students who have not lost their youth yet, and he's looking for that spark of innocence. Yet, when Max jumps back to the first day, she has lost all of that innocence. She has experienced the dark room, and I would think that Jefferson would be able to see that in her eyes, that he would notice that loss of youth, that loss of innocence that he looks for in the hopeful Blackwell students. Also, she was acting extremely obvious. I mean, Jefferson's not an idiot. He would notice something's weird, something's wrong with Max, so he might have changed his plans a little bit. He might have covered his tracks a little better, as he might have thought Max suspected him. But that's very minor. It's not that big of a deal because he did go to jail in that timeline, so I guess it really didn't matter how Max acted. Still, it kind of bothered me how blatantly obvious she was and how the entire basis of her personality changed in that one little scene. Everyone would have noticed. It would have been huge. People would have talked to her afterwards, been like, hey, what was wrong with you in class today? Hey, are you okay? And she wouldn't have known what they were talking about because, as we know, she doesn't remember things that happened during the time hop after she leaves it. Her other self doesn't remember. So it just bothered me. That bothered me a little bit. My third plot hole is very complicated. It has to do with the timelines, the photo hopping, and the realities that we go through during these scenes. So I'm gonna deviate a little bit from how I regularly do videos, and I don't have any fancy equipment or anything. am actually a bit of a noob at this, so I'm just gonna have to use pen and paper and see if I can try to explain my reasoning here. So we're gonna start in our original timeline, and I'm going to mark our photo hops, and I'm going to show where we went and how it affected the timelines. So here we've got the original timeline, and we have day 1 there, and then way over here we're going to have where we are in this timeline. We are at the very end on Friday when the storm hits, and I'll just highlight that yellow. So we have a straight line as to where we are in the timelines. There's us, we're there in that timeline. So we take the first photo, which is the black and white photo, the dark photo, and we go back a little while, and we go back to where we're drugged. And Max kicks over the cart, changes where the photos are on the cart so that we can go back, and we're still in that original timeline when we go back. We just kicked the cart. That's the only thing we changed. It wasn't major, so we're still in our original timeline. So after we kick that cart, we use the red photo and hop further back to where we're less drugged. So we've got 2 hops here, and this is important because we use the less drugged photo hop to get our diary back, and then go all the way back. We go all the way back, and we hop a 3rd time to the first day. And we go all the way back to that first day, still in the original timeline. So we'll highlight that orange. Then we make some changes. We warn David, and we enter our photo in the contest. And this creates an alternate reality, a brand new reality where these changes are in effect. So Jefferson's in jail, and we've won the contest, so we end up in the gallery. So when we get out of the photo hop, we are still right there on that yellow line. We still end up right there, but in the new reality. So we will be in the gallery instead of the dark room. And then when we find out the storm is still going on, we use our Everyday Heroes photo to hop back in the same reality. That's the important part. We're using this reality's photo to hop because that photo didn't exist in our original timeline. It was ripped. So we are going back, and we're going to tear the contest photo. And that will change one thing. It will change the fact that we entered the photo. So we would have still warned David, and we just wouldn't have turned in the photo. Now, I know what you might be thinking. The reason that the diary burning affected the other reality was possibly because we were in the past when we did the changes. We were already inside of a photo hop when we hopped back to do the changes. And yes, that's true. But when we go to the alternate reality we create in the gallery, the plane ride is the parallel to us being inside that photo. You look around and you see the photo hop barrier. That is the event replacing the other timeline's event when we were in reality 1. Those are the parallels to each other. And when we leave the plane, the scene is still changing things, the photos. So we go past the second hop we did and into the reality that we can explore in, the reality that is not inside of a photo hop. This is a completely new reality where we warned David, we entered our photo, and we have no more effect on the old reality unless we go back and change both of those things from happening. The only thing I can think of is that it would have created a whole new reality where we ripped the photo before we got to the bathroom and we did not warn David. So there is the plot hole there. Once we created that reality, unless we went back and changed both things, we would have had a completely new reality after we had torn our photo, and we never would have seen those other realities again. But none of this actually matters again, because we go back to Warren's photo and create a whole new reality, leaving those two behind. Which brings me to my next plot hole. Max never saved Arcadia Bay. If we are just creating new realities, we are just leaving behind realities whenever we hop, then the choice to save Arcadia Bay would have been wrong, because we would have been creating a whole new reality to do so. It would have left Chloe behind in a reality with a Max she didn't know. In some form or other, a Max would have been left behind with Chloe. So that timeline is still going to happen, and choosing to go back in time is only punishing Max herself, because these two realities would still exist. It's just which one our Max is piloting, which one our Max is presently in. So that is another plot hole, the ending, and the different realities in the ending. They didn't really save Arcadia Bay. She just created a new reality where the bay was safe. The reality we left still has a tornado in it. The reality that she went from, the reality that she left Chloe in. So now for the biggest plot hole in the whole game, and probably the reason for most people's frustration with the ending. Why did Max have her powers if she wasn't supposed to use them? And why did she have the tornado vision before getting her powers if their powers caused the tornado in the first place? So we've got Max. She's sitting there minding her own business in class, and she has the tornado vision. Then she goes to the bathroom because she needed to freshen up, wash her face, and get over the thing she experienced in the vision. So she's in the bathroom because of the tornado vision. Then the whole thing with the butterfly and Chloe happen, and she is gifted these powers. And she uses them without her knowledge. She doesn't realize what she's doing, and she jumps back not to her vision, not before her vision, not during her vision, but after her vision. So why would her vision have anything to do with the powers? If it was warning her about her powers, it should have just stayed away, and it never would have happened in the first place. If she had never gotten the vision, she wouldn't have had to go to the bathroom, and she wouldn't have gotten her powers. And if she hadn't gotten her powers, she wouldn't have had to fend off a tornado by using her powers. None of this would have happened if she hadn't got her powers. Everything would have been fine if she had never gotten her powers. If she had never gotten her powers, the dark room would have been discovered, there would have been no tornado, Jefferson and Nathan would have been arrested, Kate wouldn't have died, everything would have been fine if she had never gotten her powers. So the entire basis of the game and the powers is just, there's no point. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a great story, and I loved the concept of the rewind powers. It's very cool. But I just wish they had explained it a little better than not at all. They didn't even try to explain it. So hopefully I've been clear enough about the plot holes. It's still a little confusing to me, especially the alternate realities and everything, because you could explain it several ways. There could be 5 or 6 different realities. There could be just the 2, but really it just wasn't explained well enough. So that's why we have to watch where we step when we play this game, because we are stepping over the craters of these plot holes. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed these plot holes, and I hope you all made it through the whole video, because it's really the mark of an amazing game when it is still so good and so involved even after it's over. I know it seems like I'm very critical of this game, but that's just because I enjoyed it so much and I loved it so much. And yes, in a way, I am sad to see it end, but I'm also relieved, because it was a long wait. It was a lot of nail biting, and now I get to experience it from a different viewpoint now that I know the whole story. And I can still enjoy it in my own way. And the way they ended it opened the door for me to make more videos, which I really enjoy doing. I'm glad that they left loose ends and plot holes, and yes, I would have loved them to clarify more, but not tying up every single loose end leaves the fans open to interpretation, to theorizing, to keep doing these things, to keep discussing and keep talking about it and keep enjoying it in our own way. So thank you all for sticking with me through all of my videos and theories, and I hope that we can all continue to enjoy the game because it's still a great story. We still love the characters and we love Life is Strange. Thanks for watching, everybody.